Well, praise the Lord. We are so excited about our upcoming conference Revive 2024, December 14th. It's going to be an amazing,
Go ahead
amazing
and mark your calendars. It's on a Saturday.
Yes, we have some dynamic speakers. They're going to be coming to this conference. My wife and I, we're going to be ministering, and I have two amazing speakers. One is going to be talking about reviving your life. What happens when you come out of just a catastrophe moment? You thought the marriage was going to work, but it doesn't work. You thought the person was going to live, but they die. You thought you were going to get that job, but you don't. And it seems like it's over. How do you revive your life again?
Oh, I love it. I'm excited.
That's going to be amazing. That's going to be amazing.
I'm so excited. So we hope that each and every one of you can come out and join us. Be checking us out on Facebook, Success Nation Network. You'll see the registration link as we send out the flyers and more information.
Yep.
And again, hope you guys can be there.
Guys, but that's not it, guys. Now listen. What happens when you're in that marriage, right? And you're just not connecting. You're just not connecting. I mean, you're trying to find the
Where has the love gone? I was trying to remember that song.
After the love has gone.
No, it was another song. Anyway. Okay.
What do you do? What do you do when the honeymoon of your marriage is over? Or what if you've just come out of a bad situation and you're looking for love again? I got two dynamic pastors. They're going to talk to you about that. How to handle that marriage thing, how to handle that thing. And then what if you got a problem? Oh, you going to say something, honey?
No, I'm sorry. My silly juice. I thought looking for love.
Looking for love at all?
Who's that? Looking for love. So I'm sorry.
Then what do you do when you're trying to get back on your track with your health journey? You're trying to revive that drive again. This dynamic woman of God, she's going to be talking to you about how to revive your health,
your life.
Yes, how to revive that. And then, of course, I'll be closing out the conference. It's all in one day. I'll be closing out the conference, and I'll be talking about how to revive your dream.
But you know what? But not a super long day. I don't know.
Are we recording?
I'm sorry. I was looking. We're multitasking here, but I'll come out of there going. But you keep talking.
Okay. So I just wanted to make sure that because I kept looking, I says, keep playing the video over and over again.
Oh, okay.
All right, guys. But thank you so much for being a part. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. I'm Bishop George. This is my wife, Dr. Kimberly Johnson. Guys, we are so excited to minister to you guys on tonight. We're going to give you a powerful word that's going to change your life on tonight. Honey, you want to say anything to the people before we get started? Because we're going to come back with Pillow Conversations.
Oh, yeah. So what? Glad you guys are here. Glad that you're joining us. And I want to say this about the conference. Anybody knows me, you know, we're very respectful of people's time. So it is a power-packed day, but it ain't all day.
Right. That's the thing. I'm sorry, I did not mean to cut me off. Go ahead, honey. Finish saying what you said. I'm so sorry. I was sitting here trying to find it. I clicked on it.
We're gonna do a message.
I'm not used to this.
Respect
iPad
and order.
Thing. I'm not used to.
You know what I'm saying? How we value our.
But go ahead, honey. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
But no, so it's not all day. So you got some Saturday before, and you got a lot of Saturday after. And we just ask you for just a small amount of your time.
And it's gonna be amazing. It's gonna be power packed. It's gonna be just right on through. But guys, we want to make sure that we pour into your life about how to revive some things in your life. December 14th is going to be absolutely amazing. Awesome. So we're calling this Pillow Conversations. Here's what our Pillow Conversation is about.
What we talking about
today? Guys, so here I am about to go live on Thursday. I've plugged up everything, and right when I hit record, our lights went out.
The Bible says, y'all want to know what the word
What does the word say?
Tell me what the word says. When a man repeat with me, finds a wife. Oh, my, he finds a good thing.
Yeah.
The wife of this man, because it was a hurricane coming.
It was a hurricane.
I said, sweetheart, why don't you, I know he loves to go live. I said, well, why don't you, for the just in case, go ahead and just pre-record your message. Go ahead and schedule it just in case.
I said,
he said, no. I'm going to go live.
I want to be interactive with the people. I want to be interactive with the people, yeah.
But if he had did what the wife said, the word would have still came through for the people all over the land.
But I want to talk about that moment.
But instead we was in the dark.
what I realized in that moment, my wife and I, we always have these like pillow conversations. I want to realize sometimes you really don't know how blessed you are.
Oh my goodness.
And
Yeah.
Kim and I, we were sitting there in
Mhm.
the dark, no AC. We still have food and stuff like that, right? I made the post and I said we were semi-stranded. What I meant by that is
Couldn't get out of our
at the
community.
entrance of our community, the road, the tree had fell and blocked the road.
And then that was the only way in and out. So yeah.
That's what I meant by it. All you had to do is just go the other way. You could have got out there.
Yeah,
go,
but
go that way and get out. So I wasn't meaning that we were blocked and trapped like, oh my God.
not our yard. Not our
No,
yard.
no, like that. But I was thinking, you know, with everything going on, with all of the political stuff and how it seems like this country is so divided. Kim and I, we were sitting there thinking when we were in the dark, there are some nations out there that are at war.
At war.
And they've had to get up and just leave their home and everything.
It's just devastation.
To escape for their life.
For their everything that they've worked for. Jobs, careers, family, church, everything.
Just had to get up and just, that's what that hurricane made me reflect on. It's because, yeah, we went through a day without power, but there are some people that went without food, without water, without the necessities of life, no roof over their head for months on end.
Wow.
And it just made me say, you know, hey, listen, you know, I'm going to appreciate where I am. And that's the pillow conversation I want to have, is that, listen, you may not be where you want to be, but it's not as bad as you think it could be.
That's a word.
Yeah.
That's
it's not as bad as you
That's
think it could. It's not that bad, y'all.
You may not be where you want to be.
Right.
Oh, but look at where you are in comparison to where you could be.
Yes.
And realize that I really don't have a complaint.
Yes, yes.
I don't have a complaint.
Because it could be a lot worse.
Yeah.
It could be a lot worse. So Paul said, whatever state I find, I'm content. Listen, thankful, an attitude of thankfulness. Not saying I'm complacent. We always want to strive for better, right?
Yes.
We want to maximize this life. Kim and I believe we said this is not a dress rehearsal. This is your life. So you got to maximize every single moment of breath that you have, because one day it's going to be over. So we're not talking about that. What I'm talking about is that this attitude of complaining and not thanking God for what you have, because it could be a whole lot worse.
Exactly. And then you got to tell the people before we leave from Pillow Conversations, you know, that our lights were out and so we couldn't really cook and all that. But what did the woman of God do in advance for you?
What'd you do?
Don't you play?
What'd you do?
What did I prepare in the kitchen?
Oh, you talking about?
So you could be in the dark, but you could be well fed.
She made me sweet potato pie. Thank you, G. I don't think she wants me to run this race.
That just lets you know, like, you ain't really going through. You got a sweet potato
listen,
pie.
I don't think you want me to run this race because you made that sweet potato pie. There's no way she wants me to run this race.
They give you energy.
We'll be back with the word. All right, guys, we're going to talk about how to handle pressure. I believe that people are under a lot of pressure.
They are. Well, I almost broke out in my Shirley Caesar voice, though the pressures of life.
Yeah. See?
Though the storms of life are
to wear you down.
Oh.
And you're on the verge of breaking up that marriage.
You just leave Shirley alone.
But then she said, I need you to know that God is still with you. Something like that what she said. How does the song go?
Just leave Shirley.
I can't remember the song.
Leave Shirley alone.
But sometimes when you're under pressure,
oh Lord,
it can cause so many problems in your marriage. I wanted to do this illustration, but I don't have it. Can you give me that bottle right there, Kim? The one that the plant, but yeah, okay, bottle right there. Okay, yeah, thank you so much. Here's my water bottle, right? And I take this water bottle and I fill it with sewage water that I found out in the sewage. Got all kind of waste, feces, defecation, vomit, anything you could think of, and one thing I think is really nasty is mop water. Water, it's just awful. My dad mopped the public bathroom. Okay, so think about that. That type of water is in this container, right? If I take a knife and I puncture the side of this can, what's going to come out of this can?
The contaminated water.
The contaminated water, right? Take the same container, okay? Fill it up with clear, pristine
Wonderful water.
H2O, that Fiji water. You know, people. Oh no, I went to preach at this church, and they gave me Voss water, Voss water, right?
Yes.
Clear water. I mean, the clearest water that came out of the mountain. It's fresh. It's clear. It's not contaminated. If I puncture the side, same container, but it has clear water in it now. Puncture the side of it. What's going to come out of it?
Pristine water.
That clear, pristine water. Here's the question: when pressure is in your home,
what's coming out?
What's coming out of you? Because see, me and my wife, we were talking on our way home from church today, and we talked about some pressure situations that we went through. And we're going to share a few of them with you tonight. I'm talking about some situations what I call make or break you, man.
Yeah.
Pressure. What's coming out of you is divorce
coming
out of your mouth.
Cussing coming out.
Fight. Now we got a lot of church folks that listen to, so they may not know what cussing means.
Oh.
Profanity. Do you say them words my wife say sometimes when she mad? See, I don't say them kind of words.
Fight come out of you.
Does fighting come out of you?
Tell the whole house.
When pressure, I'm talking about when pressure is applied to your life.
What comes out?
What is coming out? What are you saying to your children when the pressure of life?
I hate you, you dumb, you stupid. Right before we were preparing for the hurricane, and my husband and I are educators, and we were talking about, they canceled the schools, and he said, school is a safe place for a lot of kids. And we talked about, the abuse and various things, or lack food and things like that takes place in some homes. And literally we saw in the store, because the school shut down, a mom, the way just cursing her kids.
I had just said that. In the car. I told Kim, I said, listen, I know.
Over a piece of candy.
I think differently now about education because of where I am and the position that I hold. I think differently. I look at schools differently. Yes, there was a time I'd be like, whoo, a day off, baby.
Shut it down.
But now I begin to realize from this seat that when schools close, some kids don't eat. When schools close, some kids are taken advantage of. When schools close, some kids are abused. That is a reality. My question to you is that in a marriage, pressure is going to be inevitable now. It's going to happen. What is coming out of your life when this pressure is applied? Now, a couple of things. Okay, so our background text for this, I should have put the scripture. There's Mark chapter 4. It talks about a farmer who sows some seed on different kinds of soil. All right, I don't have time to go through. Well, one soil that was sown on, it said the birds came and just ate it up immediately.
Yeah.
Okay.
It had no depth.
Right?
Which is on the top.
The second one was, it said it took root, it sprung up, right? But when the sun came,
that means
intensity came, it said it dried up because it didn't have any root. Then he said this one, some of the seed fell among thorns and choked the life
out
of it.
The pressures of life.
And then he talks about then some fell on good soil, some 30, some 60, 100-fold. Here's the thing I want that my wife and I, we're talking about pressure. We're talking about that third group when it says that when the seed went out and it began to grow, it says, but thorns also grew.
Oh, wow.
And it choked the life of it. You see that? It was producing life, but then all of a sudden, pressure is applied to it. They asked Jesus a question. They said, so what was these thorns that grew up? And he said, it was the cares of this life, the deceit of riches, and the lust of other things.
Wow.
So we're going to talk about 3 areas that your marriage, you got to kind of help me stay on my time. Remember, we said they told me last week, they said, I take too long.
And I can't see the time from here. I can peek over.
So can you
It's okay. I'll keep an eye out.
Okay. So he said, so we're going to talk about 3 areas in your marriage where the enemy will apply pressure.
Wow. Okay.
Number one, the cares of this life. We call that worry.
Yeah.
Number two, go ahead.
Okay. Well, we're gonna break down each one. Or you're gonna.
Yeah, we're gonna go back and go.
Okay.
each one. I'm
Okay.
just
Well,
giving
go
an
ahead.
overview now. Number two, the deceit of riches. I believe that deals with your motive. Why you're doing what you're doing. When your why you're doing it becomes bigger than your main thing, you need to kind of back up a little bit. And then he said the lust of other things. I think that deals with your focus.
I do too.
So we're gonna say the worry, motive, and focus.
Okay.
Worry, motive, those are the three areas that the enemy will attack a marriage and cause you to become divided, cause you to have fussing, argument, fighting, divorce, abuse to each other, verbal abuse to each other. Because see, you just popping off saying anything. You're not thinking about what you're saying. And you don't realize that your words have life.
Exactly.
It has life.
Exactly.
And you're just saying profane words because of the pressure
of life
that is being applied to your life. Go ahead, honey. I'm sorry.
No. So that first one, we're going to deal with that first one, right?
Okay.
As it's talking about the cares of life and worry. In life, I remember one time I was dealing with some things and I talked to my pastor and he said, everybody got the cares of life. And sometimes if you're not careful, you'll allow the cares of life. Right. The worry, dealing with the day ins and the day outs, right? Kids' schedules, handling homework, dealing with bills, dealing with work, dealing with eating, taking care of the home. The car needs attention. That needs attention. I got to do this. I got to check on that. I'm concerned about this. It will choke. You can go and listen to the word and you can go to church. But if you're not careful, you allow all of those things to choke the life out of you, choke that word out of you. So the cares of life, and everybody
got them.
The cares of life.
Now, here's the thing: when we're talking about the cares of this life, listen to me now. We're not talking about something that should not be concerning. See, believers, we should not worry, but there are some things you should be concerned about. Okay. Not worry. Worry means you trying to do it on your own. You're fighting your own power. Pastor said something today, Ken, that was so powerful. He said, as you begin to grow in God, he said, you fight in rest.
I love it.
You remember when he said that? He said, you're supposed to fight in rest. But let's talk about some legitimate concerns, okay? Financial strain.
It's legitimate.
Hey, that's a legitimate concern, man.
When the resources aren't there.
When it's tight, it's tight.
When the resources are there, like my dad said, make your hater jump.
Seriously, I mean, let's just be real now. When it's tight, it's tight.
And when it's tight, it's like you can't breathe.
Yes.
It's like your whole house is just a choke on the entire household.
Now, here's that pressure that a lot of marriages deal with, because the enemy will try to blind you and make you think, man, I was better when I was by myself. I had one. No, you didn't. It was not better. The problem is you just got to go back and get a plan. The money is there. It's there. The money is there. But here's what I found a lot of marriages go through, right? They just get tired of the struggle.
You just fed up.
You just every year we're dealing with this the same.
You get tired of the fight.
Right.
You get tired of the battle and you throw your hands up.
Right. And that's a legitimate concern.
Mm-hmm.
That's a legitimate concern, guys. Finances is a legitimate concern. But here's the thing, because you got to understand, where's your focus? Mm. Where's your focus? And listen to me now, Kim and I, we ain't gonna come in and sugarcoat nothing. And we ain't gonna be like, baby, just turn around 3 times. It's all gonna go away. No.
Yeah.
You got to pay your bills. You have to budget. But listen, here's what I am gonna tell you. Don't let it worry you to death.
Amen.
I'm gonna tell you 2 things that I live by. Number 1, it's not gonna worry me to death.
Amen.
That's number 1. Number 2, if I ain't got it, I ain't got it. I mean, I don't have. I can't.
You ain't finna manufacture it.
I'm not finna manufacture it.
I ain't gonna keep having no conversation.
And number 3, I ain't going broke paying nobody. I'm just. This is Bishop. Now this is my rule. Your rule may be different. You may just say, as long as they pay and we struggling, I'm okay. That ain't my rule. That ain't my rule. I give some, save some, spend some. Baby, I ain't giving you
all of it.
All of it. No.
I'm gonna work you into the plan.
and keep acting up now. Keep calling me, I'll take you out the plane. Don't call. If you keep calling me, I'll take you out the plane. Number 2, parental stress. Parental stress.
Yeah.
That's a legitimate stress.
It's legitimate because I always say, particularly when you care.
Right.
When you care, with your kids, you're trying to guide them through this thing called life, whether through their academics, whether through, and all of it isn't bad. It could be grooming. It could be taking care of yourself. It could teaching them how to be responsible, how to help take care of home, whatever the case may be. But it's still work.
Yep.
It's still work.
Now I'm gonna help y'all with this one now, because Bishop thinks very practical. Now my wife, she's very strategic. I think very practical.
Okay.
Listen, I'm trying to say this the right way.
What you about to say?
Give your kids a break. Give them a break.
Give them a
Listen,
break.
man. Listen.
Everything don't have to be perfect all the time.
No. You weren't good in algebra. You wasn't no mathematician. You were not. Sometimes we get as an adult and we forget the struggles we had in school.
You forget what your report card looked like.
I ain't do no homework. I never did homework. No, I wasn't gonna do homework. I'm not. When I came home,
I don't let him deal with kids and homework. I came home, you go sit down.
When I came home, that was my time. And listen, I hope none of the teachers that listen to this. I have a rule in my house, baby. Homework cut off at a certain time. Listen, we're not going to be doing homework all night.
Wait, I'm gonna say this. My kids were on break the other week. Now, again, we talk about, because as a parent, when you're working with them, you're working too. And my son came home and he was like, yeah, my teacher gave us this, said we could work on it during the break. I'm like, it's the break.
Yeah.
It's a break for a reason. Let them have a break.
We was looking at one lady and she said, she was a teacher.
And I was like, put that up because I want a break.
One teacher posted, the storm was coming. And the one teacher posted, she said, okay, I'm going to hurry and grade some of these papers. And then I'm going to do some parent calls. When there's a hurricane coming, you finna call parents.
And tell them what their child ain't doing.
With a hurricane coming, baby.
Don't do it.
Listen.
Don't do it. You'll mess around and get your feelings hurt.
And now my wife, she's the one that she does. I go to the parent teacher conference. I do. I sit there and listen, but I'm on both sides. And I see where I be like, come on, man. Come on. You ask these kids to do stuff you ain't gonna do. I'm just that kind of person. I am not gonna allow those things to worry me of the one. I'm going to let a child be a child. I believe a child should enjoy their childhood. And they're going to make mistakes. You know how many mistakes I made? Do you know?
We don't have time for that on this show.
All right. Number 3. Number 3, health.
Yeah.
Health, that's a legitimate concern.
Yeah. When you don't feel well in your body, my grandmother would say your health is your best friend.
Your health is your best friend.
When you don't feel well in your body, it pulls on you mentally, physically, and emotionally. I used to always say I've had some issues with my back and I've had some issues with my hip. And I told my husband, I said, I understand what some of the seniors in my life when I was a little kid, I didn't understand why sometimes they came off kind of grouchy.
Right.
But when you're in pain, little things, noises, stuff, it really does bother you.
Yeah.
I thought they were just being me. It does something to you. It really does.
Guys, when we come back on the other side with Life 101, we'll give you some of the remedies. We got a lot more things we wanted to talk about.
That's why we got another Sunday.
But they keep telling me I talk too long. I don't believe I talk too long. But we'll be back with some remedies on Life 101. All right, guys, so we was able to address 3 pressures. Yes, I do.
It says you're muted.
I'm not muted. I'm right there. See, I'm not muted.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I'm not muted.
Okay.
So there are 3 areas that we talked about today when we talked about how to handle pressure. Number 1, we talked about financial strain. Financial strain is a real thing. It's a real thing.
Really is.
Number 2, we talked about parental concerns. Your kids, that's a real concern, right? That's a real worry. And then we talked about health. So we talked about financial, parenting, and health. Those three areas that we talked about in the area of worry are legitimate concerns
They are.
that you should have, legitimate things that you should have. And it can cause some stress, man. Listen, I remember when I was pastoring, guys, I worked 3 jobs
Yeah.
just to keep the doors of the church open. My wife worked, what, 2 jobs? I don't know.
I had a couple of going on.
That's 5 jobs that we had just to try to keep the doors of the church open. People were not coming. People were staying away. They were not coming. And it seemed like God was not hearing my prayers, not hearing my prayers. Listen, pastors, I know. But here's the practical thing, and I kind of gave it to you in the last segment on how you can overcome financial strain. Number 1, do not let it worry you to death.
Yeah.
Don't let it stress you to a point that you're about. Listen, if you ain't got it, I ain't got it. Make sure that you keep a roof over your family head, your children fed, the other stuff. Hey, listen, man. Listen, and let me tell you something. If them
Can I share this
Go ahead,
story?
go ahead.
And it was the story we hadn't had, and I know we're about to wrap up, but you said telling some truth. Do you remember what our apostle told us that time? We were building, and when you're
Mhm.
building, sometimes the cost, and a lot of times you're putting in because you're laying the foundation,
Yeah.
and it'll come. But one time we were young, and we
Oh,
were trying to
man.
handle things for the
Oh,
ministry.
my Lord.
So my husband took our mortgage money and paid and did the stuff for the ministry.
Oh, my God.
And then we cried out, believing God on how to pay the mortgage.
But
and
let
he
me tell you
told
now.
our pastor.
Let me hold up, because I want to
Okay.
explain to him now. You know how I always preach and I talk about what faith is not. And so sometimes we think faith, if I do that,
God to do
then
this.
God is going to do that. That's not faith. You got to have a word that you're moving on. So I thought that if I take my mortgage money
And
in
help the
faith
church.
and help the church,
God
God gonna pay
work
my
it out.
He gonna pay my house off. No,
Almost had us on the street.
yo,
Our pastor said,
that is a real story.
He said, don't you
He said,
ever
don't you ever do that.
do that again.
Yeah.
And so, just the pressures and stresses. Yeah. So that was a true story.
That's a true story, guys. The pressure, listen.
That was a bought lesson.
Whew.
We bought that one.
When you talk about I'm talking about parental stress.
Mhm.
Hey, listen, give your kids a break. And talk to your kids.
Not at them.
Talk to them.
To them.
Talk to them. And you got to understand now, this Gen Z different too now. They different.
Well, I want to add a story to that. I was talking to, like I said, we're in education. So I was talking to a counselor the other week, and they worked at a group home at one point in time. And they said one of the things the kids would say, and these were kids with some behavioral issues. They said, our parents didn't talk to us.
Right.
They didn't say the parents weren't there. I'm not talking about kids that necessarily had absent parents. They said they wouldn't talk to us. They were there, but they weren't there. They didn't hear us. They didn't see us.
Right.
Talk to your kids. Slow down. Talk to them. Put your phone, put your devices down, go for a walk, and do it with them collectively and individually.
Yes.
Pull them aside. See what's going on. Get them in the kitchen. Let them cook with you, and just talk to them. We
talked about health, right? So number 1, listen, guys, prioritize, of course, with your finances. Prioritize. But hey, listen, don't let it worry you to death. If you ain't got it, you ain't got it. Listen, it's okay. It's okay to go without for a while. Where you are now is not where you're going to be. And you have to always stay in vision. Stay in your vision. Hey, this is where we are right now. This is what we're going to do. Number 2, we talked about parental adjustments. Hey, take a break, man, and talk to your kids. Find out, hey, why did you do that? They'll tell you. They'll tell you exactly what they're thinking. You know what I'm saying? They're not afraid of you. They'll tell you and they'll talk to you. Your health concern, that is a real concern. Yeah. And here's what happened, guys. I'm telling you, because I kept getting hurt. I kept getting injured over and over and over again. Now, this last injury I got, it sidelined me for a while. And I said, you know what? In the words of Vince Lombardi, by the yard, I know, how do you eat an elephant? Piece by piece. By the yard is hard. but inch by inch.
Anything is essential.
And that's what I'm
But
going
a
on.
hard head
Makes a soft
makes
whatever.
a soft behind.
I didn't listen. But now
You listen.
I'm listening. And
Yes.
I understand that.
Yes.
So your health, what I'm saying is your health it's a priority. It's a priority. But walk it out. Walk out that priority. Walk out that
Amen.
priority. All right. Guys, we'll be back with some announcements at the end. All right, guys, I wanted to go more into detail about pressure. We'll probably do that next week. We'll go more into detail because I got about 10 things. We talked about 3 of them today, but we'll talk about the other on next week. We'll talk about next week.
Perfect.
Guys, here we go. Let me put it up here before we leave. Guys, I want to talk about this. There it is. Revive. December the 14th, McDonough, Georgia. We'll be at Homewood Suites, not Hampton Suites. Homewood Suites. We'll have a QR code by the end of the week so you guys can go to register because you have to register. We only have a certain amount of seats for people to come. Guys, it's going to be an amazing conference. We're going to be talking about how to revive your life, how to revive your health, how to revive your marriage, and how to revive your dream. We have 4 dynamic speakers and we got a surprise. We got a surprise coming. A surprise speaker that's going to come. I'm excited about that. I'm excited about that one. But he don't even know he's doing it yet. But I'm excited about that. Yeah. All right, guys. Thank y'all so much for joining. Anything else you want to say before we leave?
Guys, have a blessed, wonderful, and phenomenal week. And we look forward to seeing you at the broadcast on Thursday night and again on Sunday. And count your blessings.
Yes.
You know, in life,
and
a lot of
name
times.
them one by one. Let's see.
One by one.
Everybody give us some shout outs here. There go Pastor. Apostle, you preached today, man.
Oh, that was amazing.
Apostle, you preached today. That was old school church. My wife said, hey, we got to go get we got to go back and get Popeyes today. He preached so well. What's up, Johnny? Good to see you, man. He's going to be one of the speakers at the conference. Yuri Townsend. She's going to be one of the, Yuri Townsend Carr.
You better get it right.
Sure. And you know what? It's Coach Cal's birthday. Let's sing him happy birthday. 1, 2, 3. Which one did he want? Do you want the fast one or the slow one? We'll do the slow one right quick. What? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Jonathan. Jonathan Carr. Happy birthday to you. All right, guys. Yuri Townsend Carr and Jonathan Carr, they'll also be one of the speakers at the conference, guys. It's going to be nice. It's going to be amazing.
Excited.
It's going to be amazing. Thank y'all so much for tuning in tonight. Anything else, honey?
That's it. Have a blessed week. Have a blessed week. Count your blessings and stay focused. Stay focused on what God is doing and what he's already done.
God bless you guys.